Good morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. Of course, I am Pastor Joe Fox. Do y'all know that we're not gardening next year here at Shofar Mountain? No, we are not. No gardening for us. If you want to know why, go check out my latest video on the YouTube channel Shofar Mountain. Get this set right. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. You have less than a week to get the Kuhimp or the Keep Calm and Viking On t-shirt. Bonfire. I gave you the link a video or two ago if you're interested. I was consulting with somebody last night, and amongst the things we talked about, and something that was big on his mind, was how to break free of the corporate world. Let's just call it that. Slave system. This is a man with a family. He had an excellent job way up north, and he felt the prompting of the Holy Spirit to move to the Ozarks. He came to the Ozarks and got another really good job, and he's doing well for his family. And they bought a piece of land, and they came from, I think, a 4,000 square foot beautiful brick home. They're renting now while they purchased land here in the Ozarks, and it has a double wide of a questionable soundness on it. And so they're going to kind of go into that. But I asked him, so what are you going to do? Just live in that while you build a house? And he's like, no, we're probably going to fix that up and live in it. So picture that. You're living in one of those nice neighborhoods with the 4,000 square foot brick homes, and you move from there to the Ozarks, buy a significant piece of land and move into a double wide. His wife was totally down with it. His kids are young enough, it doesn't matter. They don't really have a say at all. And he still has a really good job, but he's feeling the pull. He's feeling the pull to come out of her, my people. And he's like, how do I do that? And so based on that conversation, not necessarily all the advice I gave him or the things we talked about, but I thought I would talk to you all about it, because a lot of people out there, a lot of y'all maybe, have these jobs, and you're like, man, I would like to live like Pastor Joe, Sister Kate, and all the Shofarians out there in the middle of nowhere, growing our own food, producing our own power, just the freedom of the hills, man. So a little bit rambly. It's not like I made notes for this video. Number one, my wife and I set ourselves up to do this. We decided when we were in our 20s, this is what we wanted to do when we were in our 50s. Planning. We bought our land early. Again, I think I was in my 20s. I was in my 20s when we bought this land. So there's that, thinking ahead, foresight. Setting yourself up economically to be able to do what you think you want to do. So there's that. Number two, while you have a good job, however you define that, that is the time to make some money. The first thing is get out of debt. Get out of debt and take on no more debt. This is if you're like, I want to head to the hills and do that kind of lifestyle. I want to break free from this slave wage job, or whatever. First thing is you got to get out of debt, and do not accrue any more debt. If you are not paying off your credit card every month in full, when it comes, you need to throw your credit card away. You do not have the discipline to own one, so get rid of it. If you are making car payments, you need to either, as Dave Ramsey says, sell that car and go buy a used car, or pay it off. No payments, no car payments, no tractor payments, no home improvement payments, no big screen TV payments. Get rid of all your debt, because debt is bondage. And debt is, I'm going to get to how do you actually earn a living out here. But debt sucks that up, man. It just sucks it up. So you need to get rid of all your debt while you have a job. And the first step in that is accrue no more debt. Stop. Stop the madness. You are not the United States government. You cannot accrue debt that you cannot repay. Can you tell my dog was walking on my shirt or something? All right, so get rid of debt. The next thing is start saving money. It's going to take money to get started. Oh, sure, you could go live in a cardboard box in a national forest, but let's get real. It's going to take money. Things like barbed wire cost money. T-post costs money. Goats can cost money. Stuff just moving the gasoline to get to where you want to go costs money. Your place is probably going to cost money. So start saving money. And the way you start saving money is to change your lifestyle now. Stop eating out, right? All those, I've done videos on this before. But you have to be a Scrooge with your money. You're working in a job that you don't love, in a place that you don't want to be. Make the best of it and suck the marrow from those bones. Pull all that money out and have it so that you can use it to buy your land, to buy your fence, to buy your critters, to buy your trailer that you're going to live in, whatever. Start getting rid of stuff. Wherever you live now, assuming you live in the suburbs or the city or something like that, you can sell that coffee table for more than once you move out to the boonies. Right? Nobody out here's got any money. They're not going to pay you anything for that coffee table. I don't care if it's got Italian marble on it. I give you $5 for it. No way! And then they're not going to buy it. Sell it where you are. Start selling all that stuff. Downsize. You don't need the 4,000 square foot home. Small family, you don't need a 2,000 square foot home. Remember this, Indians lived in teepees and wigwams in many cases. People who went across the country on the Conestoga wagon type things, those wagons weren't any really bigger than a pickup truck, and they would live under the tarp, and then they went out there and they'd build a little 10 by 10 cabin, and the whole family would live in there, and they live happy, fulfilled lives. All right, so you don't need all that space. And once you don't have all that space, because that's part of being able to downsize, right? It costs a lot less to build a 20 by 20 square foot house than it does to build a 4,000 square foot house, right? You have no place for all your stuff. And so start getting rid of your stuff. There's some pretty good videos out there on YouTube on simplifying your life, living a more simple existence. Look at some of those. But get rid of your excess stuff. Things not to get rid of. Do not get rid of your tools. You'll need your tools. Right? You're going to need them. But like your clothes and... out here in the country, people don't really care what you wear. I can go into town right now. Nobody's even going to bat an eye at this coffee stain, dog foot stain, or whatever on my shirt. They just don't care about that stuff. And after you live out here for a while, you won't either. Or you'll hate it and you'll go back, right, to Babylon. So the first thing is get out of that. Second thing is start downsizing. Start getting rid of stuff. Do you own your stuff or does your stuff own you? I can't get rid of this. My great Aunt Millie gave me this. Who cares? Get rid of it. So start doing that. And then now, while you have time and stuff, start researching where you want to go. I'm a big proponent for the Ozarks, if you are so called. But, the Redoubt is good. There's other places that are good. The bottom line, and it's another whole series of videos, or at least one good video, is you want to be away from people. You want to be away from regulation to the degree that you can. In the Ozarks, there are different places with, no regulation. Like here, I just went like this with my hands. And lots of regulation, not that far from here. You ideally want a place with no regulation. Can't believe the number of people saying things. Their mind is so in the world and I am so outside of it now that it just strikes me as funny and it strikes them as common sense when they talk about my house. And they're like, oh, make sure you build the code because if you ever sell, da-da-da-da. I'm not selling this house. And if I sell it, I'll sell it to some land developer who's going to bulldoze it and put condos up. So no, I'm not building the code. I'm building smart. I talk to people who know what they're doing, people who know what of they speak, so that it doesn't fall down on me. But code, forget it, man. Who cares? Codes are there for a reason. Yeah, they overdo it in a lot of cases. So there's that. Start looking for a place now. Now, while you have money, disposable income, drive to different places and look at them. I get so many calls and emails mostly, from people saying, well, what part of the Ozarks should I go to? What part do you recommend? All of it. It's all better than where you are. What you have to do is go there and look around. You're going to have to get up, drive out there, and go look. Make circles around what you're interested in until they're out there pretty far to make sure that your area is secure. RNS patrol, right? Recon and security. You're going to have to get up and go, but you can do a lot of pre-research online. You're not going to find the place online probably, but you're going to get ideas, and then you get out there and you look around and you look at stuff. So I recommend you do that. Change your attitude to get out of the break free of the corporate structure. Change your attitude. Right now, you think that you and your wife both need that new car. You think that you need to entertain like this. You think that you need these Gugas and these toys and this stuff. You think that this is how you need to spend your weekend. You don't. Quit caring. Big one. Quit caring what other people think about you. It doesn't matter what they think about you. Matters what I think it matters. Your relationship with the Father, that's number one. Your relationship with your spouse, that's number two. And after that, it don't matter. Kids do it. The kids do what you tell them to do. So that's like a one-way relationship as far as making people happy goes. That's all you got to worry about. Don't worry about the people disapproving of your desired lifestyle choice. You know, right now, I could have a job overseas with maids and a driver and a butler and, not a butler, a gardener and country club memberships, you know, somebody to drive me to and from work and stuff. Be going to probably parties 5 times a week, cocktail parties. You know, doing the things, man, living the dream. I stepped away from that. Oh yeah, I'm out here doing this. I like this a lot more. It's a lot more fulfilling, but I had to get rid of what other people think I need to do. I've said this before, you know, my men would walk into my office and they'd say, hey sir, I need, and I would interrupt them and I'd say, you need water, air, food, and a limited amount of sleep. Now what do you want? That's real. You need food. Water goes without saying. You need a shelter of some kind that keeps the weather off of you and yours. It's about all you need. The rest is just making life different and better. But is it really better? You got to do that cost-benefit analysis. I know I'm not like everybody. I can live without a TV. We keep our house cold in the winter, hot in the summer. Ain't nothing but a thing to us anymore. We don't care. It doesn't matter to us. Here's the other thing you probably need to understand is that humans are incredibly adaptable, which means you are incredibly adaptable. Wherever you are now, if I gave you a grand prize trip to somewhere, put you on an airplane, and that airplane crashed in the middle of the Gobi Desert, then you and 3 people are the only people who survive. And this time of year, it's cold there. And you're like, oh my God, thank God we didn't die. There's happiness. Oh my God, all those other people died. That's sadness. I'm freezing to death right here. That's fear. You find a little cave, you get a little fire going, all of a sudden it's like, wow, it's warm in this cave. This is nice. Next thing you know, you find something to eat. Life is looking pretty good. Until you compare it with the condo you lived in Northern Virginia. It's all how you look at things. You need to decide what you really want. What do you really want? What do you want to do? Play with that a little bit. Do you really want that, or do you just like the idea of that? Once you know, go get it. You can do it. You can do it. Go get it. Every time something pops up in your head, yeah, I could do that, except, but, destroy that but. Destroy that except. Reject it. I'd love to run a marathon, but I have 2 bad knees. Then get new knees. People climb Mount Everest with no legs, and you're whining that your knees hurt? Find a way around the problem. You find the way around the problem. I can't find the way around your problem. If you want to quit this job and go live as a farmer, quit your job and go live as a farmer. I suggest you do it smartly, especially if you have obligations. It is one thing for an old retired couple to do it. It is one thing for a young man with no attachments to anybody to do it. It's another thing for, a young family to do it. But that's not an excuse not to do it. You just got to be smarter about it. Do you think there's poor people who, as my mom used to say, don't have a pot to piss in America that are living happy lives? They are. So that's your worst case scenario. You quit everything, you become poor, and you go live in Section 8 housing or something. I don't know. I'm not recommending that, right? I'm just saying you can do this if you want to. What are you willing to give up to get what you want? While you have a job, use that job. That job is merely to make you money. Maybe it gives you access to really cool internet too that you can find where you're going to go. But basically that job is to make you money. And so make it make you money. Save the money you get. Make more money while you're there. Sell your stuff to people who have too much money. And then get out. All right. Ask some questions down below. Drive me more specifically to what you want to do. But your dreams are achievable. Don't put them off. You're not getting any younger. Even you 20-somethings, you're not getting any younger. Make a plan. Stick with your plan. One final thing. I was almost ready to sign off. One final thing. There's nothing wrong with having a good job that pays good money. You can do a lot with a good job and good money. For those of you who, you're making good money in a good job, which typically means you're in there with a lot of people. You can make plans. You can use that money to buy your bug out place and have a really good bug out plan to go, right? You can do that. So don't give up on that. And if you're a young person, you can live a happy, fulfilled life as a back to the land hippie for the rest of your life, but you're going to get old and start kind of regretting some decisions you made, I think, when it's too late to kind of change directions. Make money in your money-making years. As long as we have this money system, but have a plan to get out of it quickly. I know, it's not an easy answer, right? Do the best you can with what you got, where you're at. Maybe I'll see you out here.